Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, December 21st, and I am going to be showcasing the newest version of Phantasy Star 4 Profound Distortion Randomizer. Kind of doing this as a tutorial slash beginner's guide to the randomizer. So I'll try to cover everything I can. So when you start up the game, get to the menu screen, it will start rolling through this, which shows you which version is 4.5.1 currently. It gives you your challenge rating. This one's 27, your confirmation, and then your list of objectives can also be found here. So we're doing a Hunter's Mark, which is a mix between boss, hunt, and location. So Spectre, Fractus, Rephase are bosses, Grenorous, Pida Basement, Nervous, and Mistfail are locations, and of course Dark Force 2, boo. It also gives you your options. We have a party size of 5. Classes are on, which is a feature as of version 4. Save anywhere, start with the foil, start with the rapid cap. I'll explain that in a minute. Low XP curve, which is normal. Tiered shops. High price variance, which is you can adjust. 1 in 6 money chest you can adjust. Insta kill is allowed, which you can adjust. And random boss AI. Not only means that the AI does not, it's not static anymore like the vanilla game. It actually changes. It's not dependent on what attacks you use or anything. Certain bosses are, but also allows them to use random attacks, different attacks. Their attack pool changes a little bit. So we'll get into the seed. Start the timer for absolutely no reason because we're not really doing a speed run. Starting off in Tano, first thing you can do here is grab your item. And with classes, we have a randomized assortment. There's, I think, 3 different classes per character. 3 or 4. You could either have like a tank or damage dealer. You could have a healer. You can have like an assassin. Grizz is a shaman, so he's going to be kind of like your, spellcaster. Alice is a cleric, so she's my healer. Ren is a medic, so I have 2 healers. Demi's a cyborg, so she's gonna have kind of like an attack DPS. Kunoichi is more of like your assassin class, meaning that more insta kills as well. So we actually have a pretty well-rounded party for the most part. So I'm going to, I'm gonna put Demi up front, Grizz, Rika, Ren, and Alice. I have Highness, so I can actually do the Tano basement first. I will usually skip this until I find some sort of fast way to get out of here, because otherwise you're walking back. Because I have Highness, or if you find an escape pipe in the shops somewhere here. Otherwise, I would skip it. And I forgot to equip the Rappy Cap. So, as a showcase of what I was talking about, I wonder if I can stun these guys. Maybe Mind Blast will work. You have nothing else. And you're also a healer. So I have stunned 2 of them. Yeah, this is not going to go over very well. Yeah. I'm not getting out of this fight in one piece. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, Ren. Come on, Demi, you can do it. All right. Okay. So, getting back to the Rapid Cap. So, the Rapid Cap is an item that can toggle uh, random encounters. The Rapid Cap is equipped. Random encounters do not exist. Okay, so Demi can actually use Highness. This is fine. We can just keep going. So, Rapid Cap, if you equip it, there's no random battles. If you unequip it, you get random battles, which can be advantageous in certain situations. Not here, for example, in level 1. I don't often say this, but Demi definitely pulled through. It doesn't happen very often. So, first location, Tano Basement. I will generally, depending if you come here early or late game, I will usually not check these chests because it's a complete waste of time. But since we're just starting off, we need gear, we need money, we need basically everything. So it's a good time to check them. The tracker I am using is Emo Tracker. There's actually a tracker pack for this game that was actually developed by myself, and it's actually hosted on the package manager, so you can use it. So we did find an Amber Eye, which is an item you can trade in for guard armor across the map. We'll get into that a little bit later. We'll knock off Tano, and I will Highness out of here. Tano's always a nice place to start, especially if you have Highness or an escape pipe, just because it's so out of the way that most people will ignore it. So heal up quick while I'm here. I'm choosing to avoid the shops because I'm banking on finding the equipment I need in order to get through the game, and I don't need to hunt down escape pipes or teleport pipes because I've got 2 characters that have the abilities. So I'm not worried about it. But if you don't have that, then I highly suggest checking the shops. Clips Torch. So that's a check chest in Passageway or Valley Maze. Is that one closest to Tano here. Clips Torch allows us access into Garbage Tower or Garuberg Tower whenever we find the Ice Digger. Hopefully we don't need to go there, because it sucks. The best time to decide your route are these times where you're just walking through a dungeon, walking through a specific spot. It's your best time to actually decide, okay, what am I going to do next? If I get this, or this item, how does that change my route? Okay, Molcom. Make sure you stop in each random town that you find, because that also activates your teleport points while we're at it. So I'm gonna work my way up and around. Go through the wreckage. So how I usually do it personally is, depending where I start, I do what I call the Motavia loop, which is a small loop around your like if you start in Tono, for example, you come down where you just saw me go down around Krupp, through Mokum, up to Nalia. I'll stop at Iedo, go through the passageway down to Kaderi, then I'll work my way down to Payetta, and then come back around to the spaceport and then do the space checks. If I start in Iedo, I do the loop kind of in reverse, where I'll go up to Wreckage, then go down, and then back up again the left side to the spaceport. It's your free checks. Sometimes gear is better than levels, so it's a good spot. Ooh, guard rod, very nice. It's a good chance to gear up your party as best you can. You might find some key items along the way that are gonna decide your next steps, and just kind of gets you prepared for the seed. Gives you an idea after you get a couple levels. It gives you an idea of what what skills and techs your party has, so that way you can decide your macros. If you're into a certain boss, how you're gonna handle it. All gets determined by what you get. So little time savers, Alcidian and ceramic gear. So we got the sword in Aido. Um, Alcidian actually opens up Anger, as you can see on the tracker. Anger Tower on Roycross opened up. Time savers. You can actually use Ryuka to get to the front of town, so you don't have to walk back. You can use it in every town. So coming through passageway, be mindful of your TP, of course. We're going to check the cap chest, because generally I'm the only one who actually should rename it to the Commodore chest, because I'm the only one who ever really checks it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And the check chest, your incentive chest, is right here. Another Amber Eye. So early armor. Not going to complain. Actually, I should light up my hydrofoil. And we can worry about what armor to trade in once we're finished the loop, the free checks. Because if you find some Laco stuff or Reflect stuff, don't waste your Amber Eyes on those characters. Use them on where you have not found armor for yet. So I highly suggest saving them or holding on to them until you've completed a lot of your free checks. So those are done. Click those off. And now that I'm done that, we'll check Mile quick, see who is here as the boss. Frost Saber. Do I have an insta kill? See if I can stun him at least for now. And no, I don't have an insta kill yet. So if you have an insta kill, that guy can be insta killed. You could get some really quick, easy experience depending. And then the very next step, I will generally check Pyda Basement. It's a minor boss. You can easily tackle most things here at level 1 and get some early experience, early gear. And we have to come here anyway because it's actually on our objective list. There's a chest over to the left. I always skip it because it's just too out of the way. Laco Helm. So beginning of your first boss fight, I will actually start my equipment. So I'll actually get everybody equipped with whatever the most powerful stuff I found for them. And give you the wave shot because why not? Laco Slasher. And we'll give you a power shield because you're a healer, so shield for now. Save. Start the fight. Dark Marauder. Not terrible. Pretty sure if I just go all out on attack, I should be able to take him down in a round. Miss. Thanks, Grizz. Yep. So you get about 200 XP per person. Silver Tusk, very nice. Rika's going to be a bit of a powerhouse. So now that that's done, we can check off our Pyda Basement as our objective. And hop out of here. So we had just enough experience to get us all to about level 6, which is a good start. I know I can't take on Mile as of right yet, so now I'm going to head off into space. So in an actual speed run, if we're trying here, this whole loop and space checks should eat up about 10 minutes. So from here, you automatically get Tyler as a location. So you can just, right from when the spaceport, you can just warp directly to Tyler. You don't have to walk, outside. Just warp directly to Tyler and it saves you, about 10, 15 seconds of walking. Plasma rifle. So early on, I do check a lot of these chests. If I'm coming here later, late game, I won't even bother. I'll just go straight for the. But there's almost never a time where you're not going to come here early. So it's definitely worth it to grab a couple chests. See if you can find some good early gear. The Rappy Cap, that was a useless item. And we'll head on to Zealand for our next free item check location. So that's clear. That's clear. Nothing crazy there. It's kind of disappointing, actually. Another Amber Eye. It'll be full of armor, this seed, that's for sure. And last stop in the space loop, space checks, is right across Silence Tower. Silence Temple. There are 4 chests in this location. You come out this door, go left or right, whatever you prefer. And just walk around this loop here, and you'll run into your 4 chests. This is also one of the places that you can start out in the game, which is actually one of my favorite starting places. Because you can get your space checks early and then just straight Motavia loop, and then you're already on Motavia for the rest. Now, Rappy Cap, what I was talking about being advantageous later, unequip it, hop in your hydrofoil, because everything here on foot will kill you. But your vehicle, however, and you get yourself an early 1000 XP. So we're at level 11 now. So what I'll usually do is I'll do 2 random fights, because they're very quick. Get yourself some skills. Make sure you remember to re-equip it. And level 12. Just like that. Perfect spot for an early grind. Perfect spot. It's enough levels to take on Mile. It's enough levels to take on Zeo's Fort. It's enough levels to take on Monson. And you can pretty well open up the seed from there. Just makes everything faster. Actually, I'm going to do Sal's Fort right now. Also gives you enough levels to pretty well have a good chunk of early skills and techs where you can start the beginnings of at least macros, getting things prepped for later. So, of course, while I'm... That's an easy, fast chest. I ignore everything else. There's only one more chest, and it's in the final room. But here, while I'm walking, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, where next? Next, I'll have a few more levels. More than likely have at least 1 insta-kill by then. I'll probably take on Mile at this point. Since I already know what the boss is, I know a strategy to kill him. We can take care of it fairly quickly. So for macros, you want a good buff macro. So what you're looking for is Barrier or Sashu. So Ren has Barrier, but his strength isn't great. And she has Blessing. So what I'll end up doing is Barrier. Alice has Blessing. Now I'm looking for Saner to increase my speed, which you have. And now I'm looking for Vision, which you have. So we end up here with right now, and sure, Mind Blast. Why not? is pretty well the perfect macro. So we've got our magic defense and barrier, we've got our regular defense and blessing, we've got our speed increase and saner, we've got our dexterity increase for crits, envision, and mind blast to stop a good chunk of enemies for at least a turn to allow you for some extra damage. Literally the perfect macro. For healing, since I don't really have any AoE or good single target heals, we did find our guard rod. I'll just slap guard rod there as a quick AoE heal, and two good early game macros shouldn't take you but a few seconds to make. And we found our Grenerus. That's that guy right there. So we'll set up our macro we just made. That's not good. Get our buffs up. That missed. That's no big deal. And then we'll just start attacking. Well, Moonshade might stop him. Eliminate should work. Didn't stop him. That's fine. Yep. And we made quick work of him. Jyrez, good single target. We could make a single target heal macro if you choose. I think that was Alice. So it gives you now the option. And our key item was here, which was the Moon Slasher. Equip that right now. Okay. We'll heal up. Oh, one more macro you can actually make here is I do like to make the insta-kill macros at the bottom here. So normally I'll do the insta-kill and everybody else. That way, if it misses, it doesn't take too much time. Everybody's on the defensive. There's not too much damage being dealt to them, and you can always just try it again. So hang out here until the fight. You can ban all you want, bud. 5,000 XP. It's good for a ton of levels. And found a call flute. So I'll go back, do a quick heal. And we've got that clicked off. And now, typically at this point, level 18, 19, Monson should be your next target. So what I would generally do is fly over to Krupp. Not go in Krupp. Over the water, over the quicksand, and into Krupp. So I've got three Amber Eyes, and where I was talking about earlier, you've got no armor, and you've got no armor, is trade locations for your Amber Eyes. So one of them, if you want armor for your androids, so you're going to get the guard armor, it's right here. You talk to Rocky, and he's going to give you your guard armor. So I'm going to pick up two of those. Best armor in the game. Give it to my androids. Which leaves me one remaining for probably guard male, because the last three characters that I have that could use armor are all male users, which is actually the Sick Kid and Tarinko, and I'll head there shortly. Another one we can insta-kill. Bosses that you would normally see in vanilla are the only ones that you cannot insta-kill. We've got a plate key. Now, I'm looking for the Psycho Wand. If I find the plate key here, I will absolutely do plate. It's not out of the way. It's right next to Monson. It takes seconds to walk through. There's no boss. You're already here. So my normal route, if I didn't find the plate key, my normal route would be heading down to Lidea Tower and then possibly Rappy Cave. But now that I found the plate key very close by, it's a no-brainer to just stop here and check it out quick. Which is what I'm talking about, making decisions on the fly. Sometimes key items, ruin your plan a little bit, but randos, the way the logic works, following up on a key item is usually never a bad idea because it could be locking your progression. In this case, it's just a snow crown. We didn't waste much time. No big deal. Now, we're already here, so we can just continue on our normal path, as it were. You know what? I should stop in and heal up before we head into Ladea Tower. So these are done. But I will stop in Tarinko's just south of Ladea Tower. And your guard mail turn-in is the very back house here, which is going to be the Sick Kid. Equip that on the next front forward character because higher attack chances. What you can usually do is instead of walking back out, just teleport, head into Ladea. Ladea is the next strongest location. It's your first major boss location that you're going to find along your path. Usually around level 15-ish, you can take this on pretty easily, 15 to 20. Especially since we've already got pretty decent gear for the most part. And you cannot insta-kill major bosses. The only bosses you can insta-kill are minor bosses that are not vanilla. So you can't insta-kill Juza, you can't insta-kill Fractus, you can't insta-kill Alice. Or Sandworm. But anything that... Ooh. Yes, please. Rika, the powerhouse. Guard Claw and Silver Tusk. These are got the strongest weapons in the game. Give it a quick save. And who's our first? Dark Force 3, which we don't have on our list, but it's a very easy location for him. Just got to basically plug away at him now. Oh, perfect. All right. Yeah. Good time to check out your skills. What do you have? What do you, Ooh, Cthulhu. Sets you up for the rest of the game. And then I'll just spam this. Until he's dead. Since he can't really hurt you. This location's good for about 2,000, 2,500 XP. So it should bump me into the low 20s for levels, which is enough to go to Rappy Cave. Nice and easy. Boss stats. Because the bosses are randomized, they're shuffled. The stats are actually location based and not boss based. Oh, perfect. Continue that thought in a second. Raycross Ring and Palmer Ring have a lightning resist. Androids are weak to lightning. Always give the Raycross and Palmer Rings to your androids. Always. Go back and heal. So anyway, as I was saying about the bosses being location-based, the stats are based on location, not the boss. So there's sometimes you'll run into a scenario where you have an easy boss, like a very high mental location, but the boss is strength-based. You're in for a good time. And then every so often you'll run into Rephase at Kurdish Tower, and then you're in for a really bad time. So you just really never know what you're going to get. So it's best to make your macros, be prepared, take on bosses at certain levels. I recommend Rappy Cave at around level 20, depending gear dependent, of course. And we run into DF1 now. Also not Dark Force 2. Very easy location for him. This is going to be really easy. So Phono is a strength based. That's why it hits so damn hard. But I'm not concerned. Can't mind. Now I'm concerned. Mistakes happen. Grizz really needs a weapon. So this is why we made the guard rod macro. It doesn't use any TP, keeps everybody healed up. You just keep spamming the macro over and over again until he's dead. But this is good for some really early levels, so. So while I'm fighting and mindlessly fighting, I can start thinking about my next steps. There's a choice depending on what key item I find, either Kuran or Anger. I'm going to choose to do Anger Tower first because by the time I'm done this and Anger, I should have enough levels to take on Strength Tower. Strength and Courage, a couple major bosses, good for more XP, couple more checks. Kuran is a very long walk and out of the way, so I usually try to save that for a little later, if not last. And Elschling. So now we have an even bigger choice. We've now found a key item. We're still looking for more key items. The ice truck. We're still looking for our Psycho Wand. We might even need other things depending on where we have to go. Another major boss may in fact be in our castle, so we might need the we may in fact need the arrow prism. So now we have the choice: do we continue our route, or do we follow up on the Elschling? That's a game time decision. There's no wrong answer. There's, you know, in this case, it came pretty late in the game so far. I'm going to follow up on it, and we'll see if we're right. So you head to Zima, use it. It unlocks the town, and then you head straight. Plus, this is two checks. Two checks, one location. So it's as dense as this game goes for checks in one location, so might as well. Again, there's no wrong answer here. Just go with your gut. The first check is on the right-hand side on the second floor. And there's our Psycho Wand. This time, we win. Because now I can go do Nervous. I will follow up with check going in all the way just because we're already here. It would make zero sense to just leave when there could potentially be the ice truck at the end of this. So if Psycho Wand was the last item you needed, absolutely just duck out and move on. But I will finish this. So Nervous will be our next location based on what we just found. Because, like I said, walking through a dungeon, perfect place to start thinking about what you're doing. Skipping these chests because I'm already pretty well geared out. Don't need them. No boss here. Just nice, easy walk. And there's the Ice Digger. So both your needed key items. So hiding behind Alshling. This was a good decision. As I said earlier in this tutorial, following key items should be number one priority. Followed closely by stick as closely to your objectives as humanly possible. if you have Nervous open and available to you, there's no reason to go anywhere else because your next key item that you could need could very well be here. Then you don't need to, right? You're going to save yourself some time. Stick as close to your objectives as possible and follow your key items. Really, any randomizer that holds true. And like any randomizer, rando's going to rando. Alshling could have been nothing, and then we'd still be on the hunt. But we are in potential go mode right now, depending on bosses, right? Because we don't know where they're located. So, with this, I know I have to do Nervous. I know I have to do Mist Valley. I have two minor bosses and two major bosses to do. Minor boss locations remaining is Valhalla Fort, Anger Tower, Climate Center, and the guard in Nair Castle. And your major bosses, there's still Kuran, Garbage, Soldiers, uh, Courage and Strength. So there's a few places, NAC, of course. So we still could end up needing. I didn't save. That's okay. I'll win this. We could end up needing the. Oh boy. So ZA Thules, not a bad location. It's medium on the mental. These guys are pretty well. If you can keep them attacking in unison, they're pretty strength based for the most part. So it still shouldn't be terrible. If you can have them attacking as a group, which as long as you hit them with like an AOE, here I'm gonna just guard rod this. Then this shouldn't happen. Grizz outturned Alice. I was not expecting that. So you get hit with their AoE, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, you know what? Let's just keep hitting him AoE. Disrupt, high jammer barrier, stasis. You've got Jysar, so you can heal. You can Saint Fire. Yeah, that's a trick to this boss. Is always hit him AoE. Actually, I can move down to Sar because they're not doing like a ton of HP. And we'll just get through one of them. So next stop I'm going to make is going to be Desolus. Mainly because Mist Valley is pretty well right there. It's going to be an area we need to get to. And Climate has two chances for our minor bosses that are on our list. So we'll heal up a little higher there. So it's our best chances, percent wise, of filling up more objectives. Photon Eraser, I will absolutely take that. Almost level 30. So now Nervous is done. We've completed 3 objectives. So if you alternate C and start, you skip all the cutscenes. Just another time saver. Head to Tyler. Your hydrofoil is your faster mode of transport. So I generally, if I know exactly where my ice digger is, I will use my hydrofoil anytime I'm not having to break through ice. Grab the teleport point. But there's ice right here, so there's 2 chests in here as well as the giant kitty. I'm already kitted out, so I'm going to ignore the chest for now. Well, the first one anyway. Second one's already on the way, so might as well grab it while we're walking right past it. I wonder what rephase is going to be. Actually, Laco Shield? I'm fine with that. Give that to you. My healer, she must live. Got misfailed there. It's like one of the only doors where you go up, in, and then down, out. So we pet the giant cat. Swift Helm. Cool. Well, Haina's out of here. And we will Ryuka to Zosa. And then I'll hop on the hydrofoil. And then we will jump into Climate. So now we've got Mist Valley done. Mist Valley done. Another objective. We're halfway there. And Fanbite. Not what we're looking for. But there's still a second minor boss at the end of this, so it very well could be Spectre or Fractus. Spectre we can maybe insta-kill depending on the insta-kill abilities we have. I think Holy Word works on them, but not much else, so just end up having to kill him. Fractus you cannot insta-kill. Fractus is a vanilla boss in the Monson Fissure. Anger, if one of the bosses is here, Anger could still very well be the other one, which would still, our go mode would hold true, but I guess we're in pseudo go mode at the moment. Fractus. Okay, so Fractus is one of the ones we're looking for. So Climate was the right decision. Now, we have one minor and two major bosses. So, that being said, it will be... Actually, we'll do that. Attack. You can... Do you have anything else? No? Okay, that's fine. You can res yourself. So instead of doing the rest of Desless, I don't really need to for the most part, because all I'd be doing is hunting for something that I just may not have. And there's no point. If all of my objectives turn out to be on Rycross, then I win the game, right? So there's no reason to continue on Desless at this point. Once we're done here, your best bet is to head to Rycross. Motoring. You've got a crown. You can't use that. You've got the Rapid Cap. I'll give it to you. It's fine. So we're almost at level 30, which is more than enough for Anger. It's not what I'm to do. Let's head to Rycross. Start with Anger, because not only is it a possibility for objective, it's also, you know, fairly easy location, fairly quick, fairly easy boss. It'll give you a ton of experience, which will give you a little bit more levels for the next two much harder fights. So I always recommend doing Anger first. And then Strength next. And then Courage last. You want the most levels there because the scariest bosses can be there. We've got two insanely hard bosses, and there's our Spectre. So logic is paying off. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Get our buffs up. It's going to be kind of a tough fight. Triple Spectre here, where you can't really insta-kill them, but we can freeze them. So we might be able to Moonshadow them. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll Disrupt. Anything AoE that can hit them all at the same time is probably going to be your best bet. Saint Fire might work on them. Yep. So they miss their turns. Corrosion might work on them. Disrupts. You have no attacks, so you can defend. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. Perfect. 9,000 XP. And we put the color scarf, which we don't need. We can't Highness out of this room. We have to go down the stairs. So Highness out of here. Ryuka to silence. Heal up. Head to strength. Level 32 is perfect. I'm a little worried about Alice and Rika's armor situation, though. Might have to go shopping. So, kind of what I'm hoping for in this scenario is that Rephase is here. Because his attacks, mental base, strength tower, Megid will be survivable, no problem. If Dark Force 2 is here, his Shadow Breath, which he likes to spam, will be a one-hit KO fest. This sucks. Yep. High strength. Rappy's all strength. This is a problem. Pause the bolts. Reaver. I don't have anything to. I do have Mind Blast, which didn't work. Leakin Jaisar. Riz still outturned somebody, eh? This isn't happening. I gotta find some armor. Besides, there's no boss here anyway, so. Let's check out Courage. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So level 30 to 32 will mostly be fine there. I don't have good armor on Rika or Alice, which is why they got hit so hard. But Rappy is all strength in a high strength location. His Earthquake just wrecks. Very bad location for him. If Rephase is here, holds its own problem because high mental spot with Megid, you're just asking to die. Lashik is also kind of crappy here. That's a nice opening move. I like that. Which means the next bosses are going to be. I should be able to Moonshad him. Which should be fine. Maybe skip his turn. If I can, I'll just keep spamming this macro. Nope. I'm okay with that. Perfect. I guess you can just attack. So RNG is really liking me today. First Thunder Halberd, which is electric based. So that's why Ren took a massive hit, but Demi didn't get touched because she's got the Red Cross ring. Another gate's gonna wreck here. Okay. So whenever you're faced with this scenario here, where there's two almost unbeatable bosses at level 32 on Rycross, they're also not the bosses you'll want. You're left with basically one option is to find some armor, get some gear. Best place to do that is in Aedo because there are 3 weapon and 3 armor shops here. So your chances of running into something good. Guard, carbon, guard, and carbon. So we need 2 reflect mail, echo mail, ideally. Silver I'll settle for. Actually. Good time to sell things too. Not that. And then start thinking about what's next. So once you get armor, gear, everything set, next objectives are basically 2 major bosses. The only major boss locations that are left are Air Castle, Gerberg Tower, Soldiers, and Kuran. So now we got to start thinking of where we want to go that has, where we want to go first, essentially. Air Castle, we don't have the item for. We don't have the Air Prism, so that's kind of out of the question. Garbage Tower is a long walk and a hard boss. So we start thinking, okay, maybe I don't want to do that quite yet. I definitely want a Plasma Field for my other healer there. So no mail. And no mail. There's still one more shop up in the back here. I want to get some sort of axe for Grizz. Laco axe. I'm okay with that. Laco axe. We'll get our plasma field on you. Snow double shielded. Still got to find some armor for her. I'll settle for this for now. Sawmill is very high in mental defense, so it's enough to survive another gate. Kaderi. So what I'll do is, because soldiers were nowhere near level, you got to be closer to level 40 for that. Especially if Rephase is there, he's just gonna wipe the floor with you. Rather than wasting time grind and the odd chance that he might be there, Kuran is going to be the best bet because it's a guaranteed win. Maybe a long walk, but not as long as Gerberg Tower. And if we can find out if Rephase or DF2 are here, it's just going to be awesome knowing that the other one is not out there somewhere. And then, of course, depending on the item I find here, we make the decision: Soldiers, Garubert, or Air Castle. All 3 suck. What sucks the least? Again, there's no right or wrong answer here. If you feel more comfortable doing, one over the other, no problem. But soldiers, you absolutely do need to be a higher level if either of those bosses are there, because they're just gonna wreck you. Even with side mail, not good enough. You basically need Lacko or higher, Reflect or higher, I should say. Another frame saver is when it comes to locations like this, these like techie locations. There's those sliding doors. So the Genesis doesn't really handle inputs very well when you're pushing a direction. So if I'm holding up and I press a button, you'll see how it kind of pauses you. If you push it as you're crossing the shadow, the door opens the split second you get there. There's no delay where you will hit the door then open. So instead of just, door open where it takes a second, you walk up and then it just opens for you while you're there. It saves you frames, but for the amount of doors you go through, it could add up to a few seconds. Rephase is here. Perfect. I still defend my choice to head to right cross because as we know that no what, no what, because that can hit him. That's not going to hit him. That's not going to hit him. But Cthulhu will hit him. Because there was an equally good chance we could just sweep right cross in one fell swoop. We already had one objective there, and then we would have been done. Very short walks, quick fights, etc., etc. This is definitely not a bad backup plan. And now we only have to hunt down one boss. And there's not a lot of experience here. So I'm not going to be a high enough level to take on soldiers yet. So, and I can't get to Air Castle. If I find the Air Prism here, cool. I am going to take off to Garbage Tower. The chance that DF2 is vanilla is pretty good. I've seen it many times before in the past. And it's going to be the best location out of the three. It's going to be the easiest fight. Because his stats are pretty balanced. He's not going to be a one-hit KO machine there. Since we got to fly anyway, and then there's a couple more reasons for that decision as well. We do have to fly out of here, so you're not wasting any time by having to take unnecessary space flights because they do take about 8-10 seconds each. But also, if he's not there and we end up finding the Arrow Prism, we don't ever have to come back to Desolus again. Ooh, Amber Eye, perfect. Um, we can just head right to Air Castle from there because since this game can only handle 4 spots in your space flight at a time, um, your only real choice is to go to Motavia because Desolus is not going to be in the from Air Castle. Desolus is not going to be in your selection, so you're pretty well good to go. Where's my Eclipse Torch? There it is. After Air Castle, you just head back to Motavia, take on soldiers, which is your last possible location. Then you're minimizing the amount of space flights you need to take. So this is going to be your best decision, essentially. I mean, a lot of people hate Gerberg Tower for good reason. Vanilla. In Rando, it's not as bad because you're not dealing with the horde encounter rate. It is a long dungeon to walk up, but it's kind of mostly straightforward in the fact that you're just walking in circles. And then from here, thinking about what we're going to do. Because there's going to be another choice. If I don't find the Arrow Prism here and DF2 is not here, then I'm probably going to check the free checks on Desolus trying to find the Arrow Prism and go there first. If none of it is here, then I'm grinding for soldiers for obvious reasons. If DF2 is here, game's over. Grind a little bit and head to the edge. So gives you a couple of options, a couple things to think about. Soldiers is a faster walk, but a harder boss fight, especially if DF2's there. So you could do your grinding, head there, hope for the best that he's there, kill him, and then just fly over to the edge and you're done. Already at the right level, you don't have to grind anymore. Everything's said and done. That's always an option, and it's probably the right one. If you don't want to do the grind, Air Castle will get you enough XP between the minor and major bosses there to kind of get you close to that anyway. But now that I'm thinking about it, have I talked myself out of Air Castles next? If I do my grind early and get soldiers out of the way and I'm right, I do save myself a little bit of time. What level am I here? Level 33. Perfect. Grind and go, baby. Grind and go. So while we're fighting this guy, I didn't heal. Yeah, that's okay. You can attack. You can't really do a whole heck of a lot, so you can attack. You can Saint Fire. So to recap, we stuck to our key items, followed them up as close as possible. We use our single target heal for that, take up the least amount of time. And it paid off with the Alshleen in the spot where the best spot it could have been. Or with our two, Alshleen had our key items that we needed, both of them. It was basically our go mode. And we followed our objectives as close as possible, which unfortunately didn't pan out with courage and strength. But since we didn't waste time fighting the bosses, it wasn't that much of a time loss. Like the deaths were kind of crappy, but it wasn't a massive time loss. And we chose right in Kuran and Gurubuk. So with any luck, we should be about level 35, which means we only need about 5 levels to go uh, in order to fight PD. We've got a lot of like AoE attacks, which then I can set up my grind macro for Vahal. And found another rapid cap. So yeah, level 35. So we got 5 levels we need. Now Desolus is all peaceful. The edge is opened up. I should stop and grab a guard mail for. Actually, yeah. Before I grind, I'm going to stop and grab a guard mail for Alice. Rika could probably survive a Sai. Alice is my healer. I need her alive. So we'll go back to Trinko. 4 out of a possible 5 Amber Eyes. So we'll go to Nalia. Head right over to Vahal. Save. And we'll go Rika's Disrupt. Grammar, not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. You don't have any AoE. Yeah, we'll do it like that. That's fine. I sold my call flute, didn't I? Whatever. Call flute would make this a little faster because you just call the battle immediately. But this will be fine too. Oh my god, that's got such a long animation. So it's one of the higher XP spots in the game, especially when into 2 to life deleters, 4 what are they called, Browins, or 4 apples. Broren. Broren. There really isn't any better place to grind than this, unfortunately. Yeah. Wrong macro. Oh, Demi. Hey, Ren. Oh, man. So level 36. With my classes and everything, level 40 is going to be a must for PD. Anything less than that is going to be a problem. Oh, Nathu. Beautiful. And it always comes down to, you can challenge PD3 at level 37. There's nothing really wrong with that. There's a good chance you'll beat her. But there's also a good chance that fight is going to be a nightmare and take a lot longer than it rightfully should. So the extra time you spend in grinding and prepping, you can make back in the fact that it's going to be much quicker and easier PD fight. So you're not really saving anything RNG dependent. You're just taking an unnecessary risk. So according to the clock, we spent about 2 minutes doing this already. PD fight can be anywhere from 6 to, like, I've seen 14 minutes, depending on how bad of a fight. If you're spending all your turns reviving and healing and rebuffing, then it's just not worth it, right? You could definitely save yourself after about 3 minutes of grinding. You can save yourself 5 minutes of PD fighting. So level 40 is just a very good, safe bet, especially since I got a real like brawn in this team. Level 38, 39. Lots of healing options though. Sort of about 3 minutes of grinding. If I had a call flute, this would be much faster, but I sold it by accident. Don't sell your call flute. So level 39 across the board. So we need to see one more level, and we should be fine. Everybody's level 40 is also good because everybody's gonna have all their skills and techs. There's gonna be nothing missing. You'll have everything. You have the best shot at. Plus every point into agility that you can muster will help you not get outturned when the time comes. So we're level 40 except for Ren. Nice. We're about 4 minutes of grinding. Really? Perfect. Okay. Actually, Ryuka to Kaderi. Because now that the edge is opened up, just do our final heal, walk through the edge. We'll do our final macros, and we'll do our final, make sure our equipment is prepped, and then we'll head for the end boss. The edge is easy. It's like a clock. As long as you're taking the leftmost path and making sure that your Rappy Cap is equipped for the walk. You take your leftmost path, and it's up, right, down, left, up, left, up. So go through, hold down. Always taking the leftmost path. Hold left. Left. Hold up. Left. Left. And left. And then 2 more ups. So you have 2 rooms. But that final corridor, just before you drop in, is going to be the spot where you're going to want to make sure everything is good. So what I'll usually do here is clear my macros. And then we're going to go single target. So you're going to want your Nerez. Posy Bolt, you don't have enough of that. So generally, if there's not enough, I'll just attack, Alice. You only got 6 Saint Fires, but we'll set a Nathu there. And then I'll skip one to avoid plinking. We'll set up Ren's Sar, and then everybody. And then what I'll do is I'll set up an Ataraxia Nassar. So Ataraxia gives you your TP points back, like a lot of them. So what's generally going to happen is as you're Nassaring, it takes a ton of TP, and as you're getting low, you can switch to the Ataraxia Nassar. We're going to bump up your TP, heal, and then attack. It's just the most efficient use of your macros. That's all you need. Single target, multi-target, and if you have Ataraxia, multi-target heal. and then your buff macro, of course, because you're gonna get canceled by PD3. So your first phase, ideally, is you're gonna put your buffs up. Give you that, I guess. Bad RNG. I don't want to spend the first phase reviving and being on the back foot, healing everybody already. So, try it again. Perfect. Barriers up. Excellent. Okay. So, what we're going to do here is House Shield. Does anyone have Shift? Because you're going to want to buff everybody's attack as much as possible. So, whoever's got Shift, you're going to want to use it for um, to get everybody, up to snuff. Nobody, yeah, you have Shift. So you want your strongest attackers buffed first. So in this case, it's Demi and Rika. While everybody else single targets. And then we have our single target macro, but what we're just still going to do is attack. You're going to Power Shield. You're going to attack. You are going to heal Rika. And you're going to shift probably Ren. At least they'll have. And Alice doesn't need shifting because she doesn't have a weapon, so. Now that everybody's buffed, everybody's got their defense and their offensive capabilities increased. Now we can switch to macros. So that's your first phase is just straight up going to be that's a free turn. So now that the prep work is done, phase 2 is going to be fairly straightforward. Attack as much as possible, AoE heal because he only deals AoE damage. So try to get as much damage as possible. Phase 3 is just all out. So I'll use 2 Nasars, and then I'll switch to the Ataraxa Nasar because he should be pretty much almost dead by the next round, if not already dead by the next round. And then we could get our TP buffed up for phase 3. Just like I thought. So now we got full health, almost full TP, and ready to pray. How much is this going to hurt? We're fine. So realistically, she's either going to do possession, McGid, or single target attack. So you could just switch your macros back and forth. Like here's a single target, so we can switch to our single target. So when canceling comes up, we'll debuff everybody of everything. It sets your stats right back to, square one. Since we're going to want to get your buff macro back in and use that. And pray that you get your barrier up before she uses McGid. Because you're probably going to get outturned. which is why you want level 40, because you get what's called the Wombo combo. It's going to be a total wipe at that point. I'm going to use Ataraxia and Asar because Ren's getting iffy on the TP. Switch back and forth as you see fit. There's our first canceling. So now we pray. We got outturned, but it was good RNG. We didn't get wiped. It was just Demi's immune to possession, so we couldn't ask for a better turn. So now we just straight up attack. Because everybody's still full health. Do as much damage as possible. So even level 40, we're getting outturned, which is a problem. Canceling number 2. PD is out for blood today. We outturned this time, so we're safe. I didn't mark my rings. We've only found 2 of them. Single target, no big deal. But our damage output's going to be a lot less now because our shift buffs. I wouldn't waste any time shifting everybody again because a canceling could wipe it next round, and now you've wasted all that potential damage for basically nothing. At this point, I would just straight up, keep doing what you're doing. Heal, macro, single or AoE, and just keep attacking. And trying to survive. Because all it's going to take is one bad set of RNG, a canceling, followed by an immediate Magid, and your party's wiped. Like this. Exactly what I was talking about. And now guess what? I'm on my back foot. And nothing I can do. Do you have a regen at least? No. That was a Ren who had that? Yeah, there's... Stardew? Awesome. This is stressful. Not enough. We have one chance. One chance. Let's soul do Ren and see what happens. Let's regen. Rika. And no res yourself. Can we do it? Can we come back? Oh my god. Okay. Ah. We tried. Nothing I can do. Pray it kills her. Nope. Game's over. So as I was saying, level 40 gives you your best bets. Not always guaranteed. PD3, they call her the Great Equalizer because this can just happen. I've seen this happen at level 43. But level 40 will give you your best bet. So to recap, start off checking chests, do your loop, do your space checks, get all your free gear as much as possible, find out what you're missing. If you picked up Amber Eyes along the way, then turn those in for whoever doesn't have the armor. Use your Highness and your Ryukas in the right spots to save yourself some time. Follow your key items. Follow your objectives as close as possible. And as soon as you can't do that anymore, then you're on the hunt for the go mode. Thank you very much for checking this out, and I hope it was informative. Any questions? I'm Commodore Canada 64. You can find us in the Profound Distortion Discord channel, Discord server. So I will post a link on the video as well. And thanks for joining me. Have yourself a good day. And Merry Christmas.